welcome back to my channel, because I'm gonna dab because I'm white, and yeah, that's what I do with my life. I dab a little bit, but no, off of that, it's Thursday, so we're doing video vlog, or also known as Vlog Thursday. This is my third vlog, I think it is, or second vlog, something like that. That doesn't matter. Today I went bowling, and as you saw earlier, I didn't really go bowling. I threw a ball down the lane and it didn't strike much. I threw a lot of crossovers today. I was bowling on ABT7, a 46-foot pattern. It's not the easiest pattern, believe it or not. Honestly, I didn't record a lot of my shots because it was just brutal. I wasn't throwing good shots. It's mostly my fault. Ignore the noise up there. It's just loud people walking on quiet floors. But I was bowling on ABT7. I was throwing a little bit of everything. Just really couldn't get to the pocket, and when I did get to the pocket, it wasn't carrying. I think I put like 2 or 3 crossover videos of me throwing crossovers because that actually struck more than hitting the pocket flush or light mixer at all. Because like one of my games, I started off with 7-pin light mixer, 5-7 light mixer, 7-10 light mixer, or something like that. Or no, it was 8-10 flat, a flat 8-10 or something like that, or 8-10 light mixer. I don't remember. It was awful. Things I would like to do different would be, bowl better. And that's the only way I can really say is throw better shots, hit my mark more often, and really just work on the game. Grind out those little inches I have. I have to get those little tiny consistencies that always have to stay the same. Really got to work on them. Really got to whittle those things to be something great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to whittle those out. But other news today about the vlog, I guess we'll say, Brunswick and DV announced 5 new bowling balls. The new DV8 Hitman, the new DV8, there's a Hitman and the Vandal Strike, I think it is. Vandal Strike's a music composite flip cover stock with the Vandal core, great core. I own that, the original Vandal. The Hitman's going to have a new core, new cover stock, which is going to be cool. It looked pretty solid. It looked really angular on the back end. Brunswick came out with, released, it was about 3. I think they also released 2 of them yesterday and 1 today. They released the Kingpin and the Magnitude 055 today, or yesterday. And then they released information on the, there was another one they released information on. I'm trying to remember. See, this is why I should write things down. But like, nah fam, I'm not good at remembering things because Garrett doesn't know how to vlog. But no, but Brunswick released some new stuff. They have the Kingpin, the Magnitude 055, and some other ball that I'm probably missing. They may have not even released another ball, but if they did, oh well, I'll get to that probably tomorrow on my podcast. I'll go more in depth about it. But I do know that the Kingpin has a new, it's a 3-piece ball, so it's going to have a cover stock, a core filler, and a core. All 3 of those are going to be new. It looked pretty strong asymmetric ball. It looked great color-wise. Like, I love the colors on it. It looks beautiful. And then we have the Magnitude 055, which I didn't like the original Magnitude because it literally just hook, set, and if you know anything about me, like if you've actually met me in person and heard me talk about hook set motions, I hate hook set motions with a burning passion. Hook set motions annoy me. That's one of the reasons why I can't throw most EBI stuff is because it's hook set, and that just, hook set motions mean corner pins all day long. And other words, a new ball by Columbia 300 was released. Information about it today comes out on the 31st. And that was the spoiler, which I know nothing about because all I know is they called it the spoiler. It has a core that reminds me of a Lane Masters core, which is funny enough. But that's literally all I know. I think it was green. I don't know. It was green or something. Other news today. Yeah. There's nothing going on today. I bowled a little bit. I probably averaged like 170 something, so it was brutal. Like I said, it was brutal. A lot of spare shooting. Like, countless spares after spares after spares, and countless missing some spares because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to shoot spares apparently, despite having a 3-hour practice this past Sunday on spare shooting. But no, funny fact about today, I threw 2 deadwoods. I almost said 3, but 2 deadwoods. One was a 9 pin, one was a 10 pin. The 10 pin came out about probably 15 feet down lane, and the 9 pin came out about 10 feet down lane. Got caught by the like almost got caught by the bar that comes down, but like the head got caught, so it wasn't enough to push it back. So like I had to call my mechanic twice to come get the deadwood off because I'm a genius and I throw spares hard. Because Garrett does that. I throw hard spares, and 21 miles an hour apparently knocks pins out from the back up front. I was bowling with my friend Anthony, little two-hander over there. Even though he's about my size, he's a little two-hander to me. He's a little bigger than me, but he's a two-hander, so he's little. He really working on with him. He's been only bowling 5 months, and he bowled pretty solid today. His first game, he shot 200. Like, honestly, he shot 200. I shot 189 my first game, I think it was. He shot 200, 201, I think. But I still out-averaged him because, like, it went down after that. But, no shade, Anthony. I love you, but don't get mad at me for insulting that. We were having fun, though. It wasn't really that serious. If I was more serious, I probably would have done better. Same with him. Upcoming plans. I plan to do a podcast tomorrow, 40, 50-minute podcast easily. I'll actually write things down for once, Like, I'll actually have, like, certain things to talk about that aren't all bowling related, but I think tomorrow I'm going to do the new releases coming out, and then I'm going to do a little bit about sports shots, the sports shots I've bowled on. Well, probably not the sports shots I've bowled on, because that's a long list. Because, you got to remember, I'm a competitive bowler. That's a long list of things I've done. But, other words, I'll probably be doing a video on sports shots in general, the new equipment coming out, all that Gucci stuff. Gucci stuff, you know what I'm saying? That Gucci stuff. No. Sorry. I'm in an interesting mood. I'm like in a happy mood, but a sad mood because I bowled bad, but I'm in a happy mood because I'm weird, and then I'm in like a mood, really. Like, if you average all my moods together, I feel like I don't know. I'm losing it, honestly. Usually when it gets past 9 o'clock at night, I just start losing my mind, and people get confused. Oh, what are you talking about, Garrett? And I say, I don't know anymore. I don't know. But the pattern I was bowling on today, I know this is really random, but like, was also the pattern that a tournament was on Sunday, which I didn't get to go to, sadly. It was one of the Nelson Invitationals, also known as Top Dog Tournaments, also known as Big Dog Tournaments, also known as a lot of things. They're really fun. You should go check out Levis's channel. I'll probably link it in the description below. But Levis, great guy. I love bowling his tournaments. His tournaments are hard. They always give me a lot of fun. And a guy I know who's family friends, he actually won it. And these aren't easy tournaments. This is a 100-person field nearly. It's an 80, 90 people field. Sports shot, scratch. You bowl 5 games. You can make cut 5, top 5. The best I've ever finished was 31st. And I only went like 30 minus. And like that was 31st. Like, honestly, it's brutal. You have to shoot easily 220. Well, not that high. You have to average like 205, 210 to make top 5. It's not a cakewalk. And the transition's so bad because it's 6 people to a pair. That's 5 games. You're going every other pair. It burns up pretty fast. And it's fun, but it's a challenge. And you're going against like regional pros and amateurs and just really good bowlers. I mean, it's not just you. So it's a lot of fun, but good friend of mine, Roy, good family friend, he won it, was bowled phenomenal. I mean, that he bowls for Life University, great guy. There's a lot of good bowlers at Life University, by the way. I have some friends there, and they really want me to go, but I'm like, I'm not staying in the state. I have a lot of other options to pick from that are not you. But Life looks pretty solid though this year. Like, I mean, there's not a single bowler on Life I wouldn't say is a bad bowler. Like, their men's team is pretty good, and actually I think they're maybe top 5 in their division in the Southeast for like their team, which is involving like the University of Cumberland, Pikeville, and so forth. I mean, they're a pretty solid team. They're really a true underdog. I mean, not many people expect them to be good this year, but they got a lot of talent on the team. It's a young team, so it's gonna be good next year even. But off of that, I digress. Things that happened today that aren't bowling related. Okay, so we're in physics, right? And we have this problem. And it was like, the ball is pitched, and uh, and it's hit, and it goes 98 meters and barely clears a fence, right? And the fence is the same level of the pitch, and the ball was hit at a 45-degree angle, so on and so forth. Solve for the initial velocity off the bat, which is really convoluted bunch of different formulas to solve, or you can use one formula to solve it. I know I'm getting into physics when this is a bowling channel, but I don't care. This is a vlog, so I can speak whatever I want to, because it's my channel, and I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to speak this because it's been on my mind all day. So there's one equation you can do to solve for velocity initial off the bat, which would be VR is equivalent to the square root of acceleration times the total distance over 2 sine theta cosine theta. Okay, so you have that, but we don't know how to get to that. That's a formula I know, but I don't know how to get to that formula from any of the formulas we're given. So it's more of a just a formula we have, right? But then we have my physics teacher who goes on and does a 6-step process to get the answer, 6 or 7-step process to get the answer, right? But we got different answers, and it was more of a rounding thing. But then another physics teacher I asked the same question to, he got a completely different answer. And I know I say like a lot, by the way, just ignore that. But he got a completely different answer. And then we were sitting there we had 3 different answers here. Mine was the correct one, by the way. Mine was the correct one. By the book, mine was correct. But how does the 2 physics teachers, who are very, very smart, and then there's me over here who's not really that smart, how do I get the right answer, but then to do 2 different ways to solve it, and they get completely different answers? Because the way one of them did it made a lot of sense. Instead of using what I used, he finds the vertical height, he finds all that fun stuff, he finds the initial, he finds the velocity and all that, and then he solves for velocity final, which would be he solves for velocity initial, and then he uses the sine and cosine, or sine 45 to whatever it was, and all that fun stuff, right? And the other one, she found apex, and then found time, and then found all that fun stuff, which didn't make sense because you don't know the initial velocity off the hand of the pitcher, therefore you couldn't tell whatever the time was, but that's on point. So now we have this equation. I was the right one, but one of them didn't know how I got to that equation. The equation I have, it was as he said, a made-up equation, but it wasn't a made-up equation. It was actually a real equation, and just how do I get to it is the question. But I don't know. But that was a fun little thing I had on my mind. And then when I showed that to the class, because I actually went up to my teacher and was like, "Look, this is a different formula that works," and she was like, "Yeah, that works. But do you really want to do it off sine and cosine?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "But does the class do that?" And the class was like, "No." And I looked at them and I say, "This is 1 step to get the answer. Well, this is 6 or 7 steps to get the same answer. Why? Why would you want to do the harder problem to get the same solution?" I mean, that's one of the things I wrote today in my journal. I carry a journal, and one of the things I wrote is, why do people choose to do the more complicated stuff to get the same solution as something simple that would give them the exact same answer? Which I kind of answered by saying that people have a natural tendency, or we were raised to believe, that the hard stuff always gets better results. The harder it gets, that means the better results you get. And by saying that, which is not necessarily true, people are going to always assume that the harder stuff is always going to be more correct, which isn't true. Sadly, I hate to break it to people, but sometimes the harder stuff, just because it's harder, doesn't make it more right. I mean, this can relate to bowling, because just because you throw the ball harder than I do doesn't mean you're striking more than I do. Just because you throw the ball hard doesn't mean you're going to strike more. In theory, it depends on where the energy is transferring, how much the ball deflects, and so on. And actually, technically speaking, if you throw it around 16 miles an hour, you have a higher strike percentage than someone who throws it 18 miles an hour with a 15-pound ball, because the ball deflects more off the pins, which means you have a better chance of kicking out corners. That's just a little bit of physics, but not the point. That was my little ramble for the day, and honestly, I just wanted to get a vlog up, talk about my bowling shots, which were awful, very few strikes, bowled meh. Had an interesting day with physics problems, and if you can see, I actually wrote the problem on my hand to figure this out. I was like, how does this work? And I got onto a board and I wrote it all down. I wrote all the equations that make it get to this one equation. That's not the point. But Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe. And salute.